Happy New Year and welcome back to the main stage. If you didn't know, I already uploaded my top 10 songs of 2025 video, and now that's out the way, it's time to talk about some music that's not so great. So, for the first video of 2026, for your entertainment and for my misery, I'm going to be taking you through the top 10 worst songs of 2025. Before we begin though, if you're new around here, please consider subscribing to the channel and sticking around. It would make my 2026. This is a channel where we sometimes sit down and talk about music just like this, and other times we're out and about going to gigs and festivals, getting hammered and filming it for your viewing pleasure. If any of that sounds like your kind of thing, press a big red button and be sure to turn on notifications by clicking the bell. We're trying to cross 600 subscribers in 2026, so any help towards that would be massively appreciated. And now, we can start this dreaded list with my number 10 pick from Benson, Boone. You knew this was coming, it's Mystical Magical. I remember a few years ago hearing Matty Healy talk about songwriting, and he's basically saying like, I don't care if you're writing about falling in love, being angry at your mate, wanting a scrap, as long as you're writing about something. You know, if you're going to write a song that's going to take up 3.5 minutes of my time, make sure at the very least that it's about something, just anything at all. So when a song like Mystical Magical comes along that is literally completely and utterly meaningless, just words written for the sake of sounding nice, with no actual depth or substance beyond, you are being a bit mean, but soon you'll come to like me. What are we doing? This Benson Boone guy is supposedly next up, and his love language is Moonbeam ice cream. Is Moonbeam a flavour of ice cream, or is it like Moonbeam, ice cream? Because if so, what is Moonbeam and what's so good about it, man? Talking about taking off your blue jeans, dancing at the movies. You lot, I don't know about you, but I have never ever danced at the movies. Dancing in the cinema. Right, my number 9 pick comes from Ren and the Skinner Brothers, the first single from their abysmal EP, So the Story Goes. In my opinion, Ren is one of the most cringe-inducing artists that this country has ever produced. Like, we get it, mate, you can sing and you're half decent on guitar. End of the day, the bloke's a glorified busker. Let's just stop pretending that he's this generational songwriter because he talks about mental health and slags off the government. Like, I completely agree with everything Ren's saying. I just fucking can't stand the way he's saying it. The guy's just a complete tryhard. And it's not even in the way of like, oh no, this guy really cares and he just puts in so much effort. I commend artists like that. Ren's a tryhard in the sense of constantly just overloading every line of lyrics with these big pretentious words with loads of syllables to try and look like he's some underdog that's secretly actually really well educated. He's super artsy. Fuck off, mate. Not every single song has to be chapter 3 or a part 1 of some big multi-song narrative that's always just about the same old fucking drivel. It is all self-important shite. He makes music for like 14-year-old wannabe edgy theatre kids and Disney adults. You see, but the thing is, when you pair him with the absolute chavs that make up the Skinner Brothers, he somehow looks like the one holding it together and like pulling the strings and mentoring them. Every single thing wrong with these two artists can be summed up by the one lyric in this song that reads, I'm a beast when I'm off the Charlie, bro. Absolute chavs, mate. It's just disastrous. It's as bad of a link-up as Youngblood and MGK were, but it's on steroids. I don't understand how an artist like Ren, who despite being wank clearly takes himself and his art dead seriously, would even think to get in contact with the Skinner Brothers. They're literally like an inside joke in the UK indie scene. If you're not from the UK and you don't know anything about these, there isn't a person on the planet that actually likes the Skinner Brothers. The only people I've ever known to listen to this band are pensioners who spray paint the Union Jack on roundabouts at the weekend. What are we doing? Alright, my 8th place pick comes from an artist who is no stranger to these videos by now. He's been featured in pretty much all of them, I think, since I started doing these videos. Of course they had to be on this list. Falling in Reverse with All My Women. Got me by my balls, she's a pain in my ass, but that's how I like my women. Kiss me round and round like an exorcism. It really turns me on. If you know anything about Falling in Reverse, just from the title of this, I'm sure you can imagine where this is going, based on like what we already know about Ronnie Radke. I think any song that opens with the lyrics, I fell in love with a crazy bitch, she fucked me good like a lunatic, but that's how I like my women, is deserving of a spot on this list. This one's just an odd one though, because it's framed like it's supposed to be some like feminist song, and it's super empowering, and it's obviously meant to be Ronnie giving it the whole kind of "you go girl," except it just actually reads as incredibly misogynistic and poorly thought out. This whole thing is just a super backhanded compliment that actually proves just how little Ronnie Radke actually understands about feminism. It's also continuing this forced country aesthetic Falling in Reverse have delved into briefly on their most recent album, and yeah, it just does not work at all. Ronnie's trying to do country vocals here, and they just sound so bad to the point where I genuinely can't tell if he's on a wind-up or not. Like, the vocals sound like an 8-year-old's impression of Cletus from The Simpsons. The whole thing is just so clearly pandering to like the country trend right now, and every time this band rope a random country artist like Jelly Roll or Hardy in this case into a feature, that artist is immediately just blacklisted from good music. Alright, in at number 7 we have Lola Young, coming off the back of a successful breakout hit in Messy, and immediately initiating her flop era with One Thing. This is kind of meant to be Lola Young's hot girl summer song. It's essentially her trying to have her kind of espresso moment, I reckon. But the thing is, there's nothing sexy or like hot girl summer about this. It's like, I'm not a prude, but this is just a bit much. It's a bit gross and it's a bit icky. It's just kind of TMI. I can't tell if it's ironic or not, because on one hand you have this super smooth, sexy instrumental which could like easily belong to Sabrina Carpenter or even like a Ray. You know, someone that actually seems like they make this type of song and read these lyrics with conviction. But then on the other hand you have just like the most unnecessarily vulgar and seedy to the point of being off-putting lyrics being sung with like just the worst vocal delivery ever, actively choosing these weird like ugly accents and inflections mid-sentence.
Wanna fuck you up, I wanna eat you up, I wanna cook your lunch, I wanna love you, boy.
How is this your hot girl summer song? Like, you can't seriously think you've done something here. And like I said, I'm not some prude. This isn't some double standards thing, because if it was a bloke singing some of these lyrics, you'd be questioning if he's catching some offences. Listening to this through headphones feels maybe a little bit too similar to being sexually harassed. Lola Young generally kind of irks me as well. People have brought up her being a nepo baby or whatever, but I don't really care about that. That's not the reason Lola Young's annoying. She's annoying because she's just kind of obnoxious and trying very hard to be different and quirky. She's basically the female equivalent to the version of Youngblood from a few years ago that everyone absolutely hated. Number 6 goes to Olly Murs with Yesterday's News.
A new tattoo. Don't like it, Sheeran, but I really do.
This is probably a song you've heard on your TikTok feed at some point in the past few weeks. It's absolutely dreadful. This tune, and to be fair, all of the recent tunes I've heard from Olly Murs are essentially just cringe final bosses. There is a very obvious attempt to capture the sound of a band like Madness or Rizzle Kicks. It falls completely flat, and it ends up just sounding like something from a children's TV show. The vocal delivery is incredibly awkward and cringe. I'm sure you've heard the Tesco's by the Mangoes thing.
In Tesco's by the mangoes in an old pair of shoes.
Lyrically, this is an attempt at like criticising the press and the news coverage and celebrity scandals. The problem is that Olly Murs isn't someone that's ever really in the news cycle anyway. Like, he just sort of pops up every now and then, does Soccer Aid, and then disappears. No one really cares whether Olly Murs likes or doesn't like Ed Sheeran. Olly Murs is not the sort of bloke that needs to be criticising the news. The press is probably the only thing keeping him relevant at all. On top of that, he's just so unlikable. Like, I have no reason to root for this guy. His whole career is built on the fact that he's just completely bland and safe and devoid of any actual personality. It isn't just humour that speaks to the lowest common denominator. Hence the Pringles can incident from a few years ago everyone just seems to have forgotten about. This whole thing is just very cringe-inducing. It's just so clearly made to appeal to middle-aged women who exclusively shop in Aldi and still listen to radio stations like Capital FM. Taking us past the halfway point now with my number 5 pick is UK punk outfit Panic Shack. But not before a short break in today's viewing to tell you about a very interesting and potentially life-changing opportunity. Subscribe if you haven't already. If you're a fan of any of the artists I've mentioned up until this point, there'll definitely be something on this channel worth sticking around for. Sometimes we just sit down and have a chat like this. Other times we're out and about, going to gigs, going to festivals. It's all very fun stuff, and we are well on the way to 500 subscribers at the minute, so any help towards that would be massively appreciated. I'm also posting a bunch on TikTok at the the minute, so go follow me over there as well at the Main Stage Talkie, links in the description. I've been hating on Panic Shack for a while now. These were the girls that came up on TikTok a few years ago with that song where she's talking about, you do not shush me in the cinema.
Shush me in the cinema! He shushed me in the cinema! You do not shush me in the cinema!
They dropped an album this year, and surprise, surprise, it's not very good. The worst offender here, though, is the track Girl Band Starter Pack.
We get hyped all the time. We get hyped up.
I think the thing I hate most about this band is how incredibly just formulaic they are. If I said to you, name the Panic Shack song that begins with the lead singer belling up the girls and getting ready to go and drink pints, you'd have no fucking clue what the answer is, because that's what 90% of this band's songs are about. This song is not about anything. It is literally, I am going about my day with my friends and then I'm going drinking. Written in just the most blunt, uninteresting way possible. There's nothing cutesy or quirky about using 2 whole lines of your song to remind us that you smoke roll-ups, just in case we all forgot you're a cool punk band. As we know, it's very cool and punk to say things like, let's get a bevy, 4 double bodies. You're definitely not just the most irritating, obnoxious girls in the world. At number 4, we have another artist that is pretty much a mainstay of this list by now, Tom MacDonald, obviously. I feel like by now, Tom MacDonald has already been done to death by music reviewers. If you don't already know, loads of people have covered this guy in the past. To save time, all I'm going to say is that this bloke is just the definition of the word bigot, and all his lyrics make that abundantly clear. The song in particular that I've picked for this year's list is one titled, Can't Cancel All of Us.
They told me, be a man, boy, toughen up. Then they let women become men, they tricked me.
Once again, I'm sure you can imagine exactly where this is going. You see, usually when I'm working on a video like this where I talk about a song and claim it's bigoted or whatever, it'll take me a couple listens to find some lyrics or clues and try and prove my point. With this song, I just don't even need to. It speaks for itself. Every line is just spouting some utter shit to appeal to like the anti-woke mob. It is pretty much an admission by Tom MacDonald that he is a racist and he is a transphobe and he is all of these things. He's flat out saying, I might as well not even hide it, they can't cancel me. Anyone or anything that is claiming to be anti-cancel culture is automatically fucking stupid. Cancel culture isn't a thing. If you're watching this, you're probably pretty online and up to date with pop culture. Name someone that's actually been like genuinely 100% cancelled. Do you know what I mean? We're talking Savile, Weinstein, Ian Watkins, Diddy, R. Kelly, and that's pretty much it. There's 5 or 6 names that are all just kind of universally agreed to be like fuck people that are cancelled. Getting cancelled is not something that normal people ever have to worry about. So getting all worked up and being super vocal about hating cancel culture is just a thing that stupid people say to try and victimize themselves so they can get away with being intolerant. That's what this song is. It's intolerance with a victim complex. No one's trying to cancel all of you. Just shut up. In 3rd place, we have a new track from Issei Spissy being Big Guy from the new SpongeBob movie.
SpongeBob, big guy, pants okay. SpongeBob, big guy, pants okay. Off the way.
I know what you're thinking. The common defense of this song is, look, it's for a children's film. Are you expecting it to be high art? But what I'm going to do is I'm just going to rattle off some other songs that were made for children's films. Can You Feel the Love Tonight? Life is a Highway. A Whole New World. Let It Go. You know, as you can see, we've got some actually like legendary big songs that have kind of defined the music of cinema. Why should the children of today settle for, and I quote, SpongeBob, Big Guy, Pants Okay? No fucking wonder kids' brains are rotting and they're all on TikTok when this is the alternative. Like, what are we actually doing? I don't understand how the whole kind of big guy thing relates to SpongeBob in any way. I haven't seen the film, but it sounds just like a terrible attempt to try and fit in the correct amount of syllables. I just also hate Ice Spice's vocal delivery, just generally. She always just sounds so uninterested and her flow is literally the same on every song. You do have to give Ice Spice a bit of credit though, as this song seems like it took her using all of the 15 words she knows to write. So well done, Ice Spice. In at 2nd place, coming from Taylor Swift's new album, The Life of a Showgirl, is a song that's been absolutely discussed to death on social media at this point. Actually Romantic.
Honestly wild, all the effort you've put.
You see, this one's on the list for a slightly different reason to the rest. While most of these are on the list because of the way they sound or the lyrics or the bigoted or whatever, this song is just on the list for its context. I think this is possibly one of the most out of touch songs I've ever heard. I don't understand how an artist as big and successful as Taylor Swift can have such little awareness or understanding of the pop culture zeitgeist that she thinks it's a good idea to go all in on one of the most beloved artists in the world right now, whilst completely and utterly misinterpreting the point of the conversation that artist was initially having. It is baffling to me that anyone in their right mind would release this right now. It is so incredibly uninformed. Even the slightest bit of research or emotional intelligence, and we could have avoided this song. But instead, no. We have this boring instrumental with cringe lyrics and some annoying forced Twitter stan drama, all because Taylor Swift, one of the most decorated songwriters of our generation, might I add, just forgot how to have media literacy and basic comprehension skills one day. This feels like less of a terrible song than it does a completely just uncharacteristic, self-inflicted cock-up from Taylor Swift, and it needs to be addressed. Because it hasn't yet, I have to put it on this list. And finally, the worst song of 2025. What's it gonna be? The worst song of 2025 comes from Kanye West, obviously, and while Ye dropped a few contenders for worst song of the year, for me, nothing even comes close to dethroning Cousins.
And I know these niggas about to judge me now. I know they about to judge me now. Told it off when we...
In terms of songs that don't need to exist, in terms of information I, as well as the general public, don't need to know about, Kanye West rapping about giving his younger cousin slops is pretty much top of the list. I'm going to talk about this track in more depth in my 2025 music law recap type video, which is coming soon. But for now, I think one of the most infuriating things about this is the fact that it's actually somehow the best sounding, most listenable song Ye has released in years, which is kind of a problem considering it's about the bloke noshing his cousin off. And if you haven't heard this song, because it did actually go a little bit under the radar due to Ye releasing other songs this year that got more attention.
What's her favorite song? We need it right here, right here. I got it. Now!
When I say this is a song about Kanye giving his cousin head, it's not a hidden message. The chorus is literally this.
Give my cousin head, give my cousin head, give my cousin head, I gave my cousin head.
Okay, so the track starts off by setting the scene, explaining what Ye and his cousin were up to. It builds up to that falsetto section and then winds back down with Kanye dropping the line, "I know yous are about to judge me now." No fucking shit, mate. You're publicly releasing a tune about doing up slops on your younger cousin. That wasn't something that was gonna come out. No one even considered this to be a possibility. Like, you've just self-reported to the whole world about possibly the most deranged thing someone could ever do. This is quite easily the most bizarre thing I've ever heard. When I saw his tweet where he kind of premiered this song, I couldn't believe what I was reading. I forgot there was audio even attached. When I played the audio, my jaw dropped. I honestly felt ashamed to have ears and to be able to hear. This song is just so insanely unnecessary, to the point where it actually becomes quite fascinating, because just like the whole scenario is just so strange. People have moved on from this very quickly, by the way. That is it. Those are the final 10. If you made it this far and you agree with any of these choices, please subscribe and turn the bell on. It would make my 2026. We have loads more content coming over the next couple of weeks. As we get further into the year, we also have a bunch of festivals and gig content planned here on the channel. It's going to be a lot of fun, so be sure to stick around. I'll see you very soon.
Don't fucking read Murs, yes. Hey, subscribe to the fucking main stage. Get up.